Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Hour 2, Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. About half that work week now, finally in the rearview mirror. We are working towards the weekend. Appreciate you being with us. Sharief, Ishaq will be along in 30 minutes. Saints had mandatory mini camp earlier today. Sharief was there, had a chance to chat with the Saints in the locker room afterward as well. So we'll check in from Metairie coming up in 30 minutes with Sharief. Ishaq 15 minutes from right now. We'll get to our Three Things series. We are now with the Ole Miss Rebels from a football perspective. So we'll talk about LSU's third opponent. Started with Clemson on Monday. Talked about Louisiana Tech yesterday. We'll do Ole Miss coming up 15 minutes from right now. But let's talk some LSU baseball right now as the Tigers dipped into the transfer portal for what they need, pitching, last night. The news broke via Jay Johnson on Tiger Rag Radio that LSU had gotten a signature from Southern Cal transfer Diego Velasquez, a right-handed pitcher who just finished his freshman year with the Trojans. Now, this is an interesting sign for LSU for a couple of reasons. One, he's got multiple years of eligibility remaining. Two, he was an excellent high school player positionally, offensively, and on the mound. You're talking about one of the top players in the state of California. In fact, Perfect Game ranked him as the number 5 shortstop in California, the number 15 overall player in California. And I checked with LSU to see if there was a chance this could be a two-way deal, because he did primarily pitch at USC, but he took some at-bats as well. And LSU said this is primarily a pitching ad, but that he was such a good position player in high school, that's on the table. It may be something they do kind of in the background, but it's something that is available. And there have been really good players at LSU with backgrounds both ways. Jake Brown obviously comes to mind. Kason Evans obviously comes to mind. And those guys specialized. Jake Brown did not pitch, and Kason Evans did not hit. Now, Dalton Beck came in from Incarnate Word, and he took a couple of swings. It famously took a swing that was right before Jared Jones' walk-off home run at 1 o'clock in the morning against Tennessee. He lined a single up the middle, but he mainly was a left-handed pitcher for LSU. He's the only guy that's really been a two-way guy for Jay Johnson. But Velasquez could be that. Now, primary pitching. So let's talk pitching for the most part here. This is a guy who I mentioned just finished his freshman season. He made 13 appearances for USC. He made 5 starts. He threw 29 and 2/3 innings, had 34 strikeouts and 9 walks. So 34-9 is a really good strikeout to walk ratio, over 3-1. And he had an ERA of 4.55. He gave up 6 homers, which is a lot in 29 and 2/3 innings. He gave up 23 hits. It was a 209 batting average against. So statistically, not some monster season, but reasonable numbers as a freshman at USC. What I can tell you about Velasquez is I looked up some of his outings, and then I found that he started the regional game against Texas State on Sunday morning. So this was USC's route in the regional. They opened with Texas State, and they lost. So they came back and played the 4 seed on Saturday and won. Then on Sunday, they played Texas State, who had been beaten by A&M, and dropped into the Sunday morning game. And that's where USC beat them. They went on to beat USC on Sunday night. Beat Texas A&M on Sunday night and Monday night to win the regional. But in the Sunday morning game that the winner had to go beat A&M twice, Velasquez got that start. And so I went back and watched the first inning of that start. And here's what I saw. He is a 6'1", 203-pound right-hander. His mechanics are remarkably clean and efficient. Very, very, very simple wind-up, and the ball jumps out of his hand. He was hitting 96, 97 throughout the first inning. So that's what you're looking at. Really good athlete, obviously, being a high school hitter, shortstop. Now he's a college pitcher as a freshman starting a regional game. Clean mechanics, 96, 97-mile-an-hour fastball, good slider, and he threw a couple of really nice changeups. And what you gather from Velasquez is he doesn't walk a lot of guys. He had 15 appearances, and in 10 of the 15, he didn't walk anybody. So I like some of the things that you build around with Velasquez. This is a guy who, and I'm just basing this on his history, has focused on all facets of baseball his entire life. You can now focus all that athleticism on pitching. You want him to take some BP? Great. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with investing in two-way players. That in this era is a good thing. But for Velasquez, you've got a guy who's got a lot of physical gifts, a lot of talent that he can harness into one aspect of the sport. The arm strength is not a problem. He's right now, as a freshman, 97. And then you work with him in an environment that he hasn't gotten at USC. USC has a brilliant baseball history with 12 national championships. They lead the way. They're not at the forefront of college baseball right now. You get him into a pitching lab, you put 10 pounds on him, you allow him to just get stronger from an 18, 19, 20-year-old. You're looking at a guy who's going to throw 100 miles an hour one day. That's a reasonable expectation for a freshman at 97 whose mechanics are that clean. Yeah, there's 100 in that tank. And he throws a lot of strikes. So this is good. Jay Johnson told Tiger Rag Radio last night that he envisions Velasquez as kind of a Case and Evans type in 2027, what Evans did in 2025. So come on in with 1 out in the 8th and get the last 5 outs. Come on in with 2 outs in the 7th, get the last 7 outs. That's what he thinks of Velasquez right now. Now, you've got guys who are going to jockey for that position. I think Marcos Paz might jockey for that position. I could see William Schmidt or Case and Evans jockeying for that position, depending on how things shake out. And I know that a lot of people want left-handed pitching for this staff, and I get it. This is something I wrote for LouisianaSports.net, and I do mean this sincerely. I want left-handed pitching. I want LSU to have left-handed pitching. I think that's important. But what's more important than having left-handed pitching is having good pitching. In the big leagues, you've got to have guys from both sides. You just have to. The hitters are too good. To give them the advantage of the proper matchup in the big leagues is too much. But in college, a really good right-hander is better against left-handers than an average left-hander. More often than not. That's not a blanket statement, but it's pretty factual. You would rather have a dude, the two guys that UNC brings out of the pen if you've been watching, McDuffie, Gaudill, they're both right-handed. And they're both nasty on both. You'd rather those guys in the game in the 9th inning than a guy just because the hitter's left-handed. And I think Velasquez fits in that good pitching mold. He's a guy whose numbers will not catch your eye. But Griffin Herring's numbers as a freshman won't catch your eye. Neither will William Schmidt's. Neither will Cade Anderson's. You've had guys develop in the program. Ty Floyd wasn't brilliant as a freshman. This is a developmental guy with a ton of athleticism, a very, very functional delivery, a really strong arm, some high leverage moments for USC, and a lot of control. I think this is a really good addition for LSU. I think there's reason to believe this is a guy who can really, really help in the bullpen. You got to do it. You got to prove it. But I love the strikes, and I love the fluidity of his motion. So really good stuff there with Velasquez. I've also written at LouisianaSports.net that LSU is still in the market for bullpen arms, and there's one specifically that we need to take a look at here that I think LSU plans to get a visit from and very well could land. Now, they're going to have real competition from the SEC on this because you're going to have to deal with Mississippi State, you're going to have to deal with Ole Miss, you're going to have to deal with Texas, you're going to have to deal with Arkansas. But Louisiana Tech transfer Thomas Allen just finished his freshman year in Ruston. He was All-Conference USA, 3.54 ERA, had 19 appearances. Opponents hit just 192 against him, and his strikeout-to-walk ratio was 49-15 in 48 innings. His fastball also up to 98 miles an hour from the right side. Again, it's a right-hander. A lot of the same profile as Velasquez. A lot of the same profile, honestly, as Marcos Paz. But you need good pitchers. And I'll take guys that throw hard in the back of the bullpen, especially if they throw a lot of strikes. And this is a guy who, in college this past year, in 48 and a third innings, only walked 15 guys. LSU is planning on getting a visit. He's from Benton, just outside of Bossier, which is sister city with Shreveport, obviously. So from North Louisiana, played at Louisiana Tech, has got interest from SEC schools, and is going to come with a price. But I think that's a guy that LSU would look at, and it's another guy with multiple years of eligibility. Landon Hood has multiple years of eligibility from Gonzaga. Diego Velasquez, multiple years of eligibility from USC. And Thomas Allen from Louisiana Tech, if they can get him, multiple years of eligibility as well. So you're looking at guys who you can keep in the program for a couple of years if you're able to get them there. Yes, I want LSU to get left-handed pitching. I want LSU to get left-handed pitching for sure. I would love it if there's one more lefty that LSU could nab that throws strikes and has a fastball in the low to mid-90s. If they can find that, that is a missing piece they would really, really like to get. But good pitching is more important than left-handed pitching because it's not like you don't have any. You've got Cooper Williams, you've got Ethan Plog, you've got Danny Lockenmeyer, you've got Jonah Asay, who's coming back from injury, and we'll see what you can get through the draft. It's not like you're void of left-handed pitchers. Those guys just didn't have great years. So I'd love to get some, but you're getting right-handed pitching right now that's really good, and I like that as well. So I liked Diego Velasquez from the numbers perspective. When I saw the video, I liked him even more, and I think that's what Nate Yeske and Jay Johnson see as well. So good news for the Tigers as they pull in a super regional pitcher from USC. That's a team that went to UNC for the Super last weekend. So good stuff for the Tigers and Jay Johnson. We'll keep you posted on all that as we move through the transfer portal on LouisianaSports.net, of course, right here on the Hunt Palmer Show. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. When we come back, 3 things on Pete Golding's Ole Miss Rebels next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Go check out the website. The website is so functional and so helpful as well. Go to onebathandclosets.com. You can see the reviews from their satisfied clients. There's a ton of them you can read through. You can see the work that they've done. It's gorgeous aesthetically, it's functional, and it's customized to what you're looking for. So if you've got a closet that's just got clutter everywhere, there's not enough space, you're trying to share it with your spouse, you're jamming suitcases in places, doesn't fit, you bring out a suit or a dress shirt and it's crinkled up because you don't have the space. There are shoes from whatever party there that are all over the place. Create some more space with David Duvall and One Bath and Closets. Start with that free consultation. Guess where you can get it? At the website, onebathandclosets.com. David and his team promise this. They're going to do it right the first time and leave the competition behind. Check them out online at onebathandclosets.com, onebathandclosets.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Honestly, this week, probably not the best week to have a pool. It's going to rain like the whole week. But this time of year, great time to have a pool because it's 1,000 degrees and it's going to be 1,000 degrees until Halloween. So if you want to get that pool that you've always dreamed of and you think, man, I just never know when it's the time, have the conversation with the folks at Renaissance Homes and Pools. Joey Blanchard is the owner of the company. He's the guy you'll work with. He's the guy that will walk you through the entire process. And I'm going to give you his cell phone number to shoot him a text if you want to start that process. No matter what you're looking for, you're looking for a huge pool for your 6 kids and grandkids, Renaissance Homes and Pools can do it. Maybe you just want a cocktail pool, place to cool off, read a book, have a drink. They can do that too. No matter what you're looking for, Renaissance Homes and Pools can make it a reality for you. They've got this incredible software that allows you to design it from the ground down, I guess, instead of the ground up. You can also do that outdoor kitchen as well to pair that with a pool and create that outdoor space you've always wanted. Text Joey. He's the owner. 225-252-7745. That's 225, obviously right here in Baton Rouge. 252-7745. Say, hey, heard about you on Hunt Show. Would like to look into a pool. You'll start with him with the consultation, the design work. You'll chat with Joey. When they dig the pool, he'll be there. When they fill the pool, he'll be there. When they finish the pool, he'll be there. You don't have to worry about whether or not the person who's walking you through the process is invested. You've got the owner. It's Renaissance Homes and Pools. They're online at builtbyrenaissance.com. That's builtbyrenaissance.com. All right, every single day we're going through LSU's football schedule, opponent by opponent, and I'm just giving you 3 things from a surface level. We started with Clemson on Monday, talked about Louisiana Tech yesterday. Now the big one. Let's talk about Ole Miss. This is going to be a game that everybody's talking about. I'm honestly tired of talking about it right now. I know by the time we get to it, I'm going to think, man, this is This is quite a circus. It'll be a big day on Saturday when it comes, but there's going to be some fatigue that sets in with just the constant drilling down on the Lane Kiffin storyline. So we're not going to talk about the Lane Kiffin storyline in these three things with Ole Miss. We'll talk about first John David Baker. Well, who's John David Baker? That's the offensive coordinator they hired to replace Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss. John David Baker has been brought in from East Carolina. He worked on Lane Kiffin's staff for a couple of years in Oxford, and then he went to East Carolina. His first year there, the Pirates were in the top 10 nationally in yards, points, and passing. They really set it on fire. His second year, this past year, they were 15th in the country in total offense, 31st in scoring offense. So a nice 2 years there at East Carolina, and he goes back to Oxford to take the keys to the offense and run it under Pete Golding with Charlie Weiss and Lane Kiffin gone. Keep in mind, here's how Ole Miss ranked nationally in total offense in the last 5 seasons. Second, 13th, 8th, 6th. So top 13, 5 years. In the top 6, 3 of the last 6 years. So it's been an offensive program. They ascended once the defense caught up, but the offense has been elite at Ole Miss, and John David Baker's plan is to keep it that way. Now, he's got a really good foundation. He's got Trinidad Chambliss. He's got Keywan Lacey. That's where you start. But does John David Baker have the ability to maintain the elite level of offense that Ole Miss has had over the course of the last 6 seasons? That's a big, big key, obviously, to the Ole Miss team in 2026. Now, this is something that has been maintained from the Kiffin days, and that is the portal being a huge piece to Ole Miss's puzzle. 31 new players came in during the portal cycle. Rivals ranked the number 14 class in the country. You lost TJ Daugherty and Prince Uleman and Winnie Watkins. They're in Baton Rouge. You know that. But Caden Lee was a big piece to the passing puzzle, we thought, entering this season. He's gone to Missouri. We know Deshaun Womack around here. He played a lot for them as an edge rusher last year. Not very productive, but played. He's gone to Auburn. But you kept Trinidad Chambliss. You kept Keywan Lacey. Now, are the guys that you brought in going to be able to carry the mail? That's the question. You've got an offensive line that's replacing 2 tackles. You went to Miami and got a tackle. You went to Florida and got a tackle. You went to LSU and got a tackle and Carius Kern. Like, that's a big spot for Ole Miss. Linebacker. You've overhauled things. You went to Clemson, a guy that was enrolled and did a little shopping to bring one in. But it's a lot of guys to bring in that have got to be hits. And the question is, did they do that again? Good job last year, good job 2 years ago. But that's still a question mark, and it's something that Ole Miss is going to have to make sure they've gotten right once again in the transfer portal. And then the last thing doesn't really have anything to do with Ole Miss specifically, but it does this year. And it's something that every team's got to deal with when you achieve the year prior. Because if you're Ole Miss and you beat Georgia and you're on the floor of the Superdome and you have taken down Georgia and now you're going to play Miami out in Arizona, you're there. You're in the semi. The national championship is right there. And now you put the pads on August 1st. It's a long way away, brother. It's a long way. And I would be willing to wager that nobody in Oxford was really thinking about winning the Natty on August 1st last year. I would wager nobody in Oxford was really thinking about winning the Natty at the end of September when LSU came. I would wager nobody in Oxford was really thinking about winning the Natty when you left Athens with a loss to Georgia. Now, it's all anybody's going to think about. You may think that's ridiculous in Baton Rouge. I don't care what you think in Baton Rouge. That's not the point. In Oxford, with Pete Golding, with John David Baker, with Trinidad Chambliss, with Keywan Lacey, you're now on the cover of video games. You're on the cover of magazines. You're getting Heisman buzz. Game day's already scheduled for week 3. You're going to be preseason top 10. You're thinking about the Natty in August, and that is a different way to approach a football season. Something goes wrong in the third quarter of a game, you're down, you're thinking about the Natty, you're thinking about the playoffs. It's just human nature. And for Ole Miss, for 60 years, you didn't have to worry about that. It's a bad problem to have, but you didn't. Now, it's part of the equation. And I'm just curious how the Ole Miss football program handles that. Because there were some thoughts that Ole Miss was really good 3 years ago when they came to Tiger Stadium undefeated. And everybody in Oxford goes, that was a Kiffin team. He chokes in big games, can't win them. Wouldn't have beat Georgia with them last year. He'd have gone for the fourth downs. Wouldn't have kicked the field goals. We'd have lost. Maybe that's true. That you might be right. The fact of the matter is that Ole Miss did not handle big-time expectations 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when they got off to a good start with all those potential draft picks on that team. So handling significant expectations for the first time in a very, very long time because of what you did last year and the change in perspective to there are 15 seconds left and we're playing for the Natty if we can keep them out of the end zone here before Carson Beck ran in. And, okay, we got to go to practice today. It's 100 degrees on August 14th. It's a different world. And I'm curious how Ole Miss operates in that. I'm not here to tell you they're going to do great. I'm not here to tell you they have no chance. I'm just curious because it is different. It's very different. And it's a big deal for Pete Golding and that team. So kind of my three things with Ole Miss entering this season. Does John David Baker keep things where they were on offense? He's got personnel built in that should help him do that. Your quarterback's back. Your running back's back. Your three interior offensive linemen are back. You got a really good center. Okay. I think Pete Golding will put a good defense out there. He's done that the years he's been there. But John David Baker's one. Are all your portal guys hits again? Do you have Princely Umanmielen and Walter Nolan and Kewan Lacey? Do you have Trey Harris? Do you have Trey Amos? Do you have TJ Dottery? Do you have those impact guys that you've had over the last few years? We'll see. And then, how do you manage a whole new perspective on being the Ole Miss Rebels? You should be able to handle yourself against Louisville and Nashville, I would think. Week 3, can you keep your head on straight in a circus? Because a circus is coming to town. And then you got more to deal with. You got to deal with Texas. You got to deal with Georgia. You got to deal with Oklahoma. Got to deal with LSU. There's a lot there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Oxford this coming season. I think their over-under in Vegas is low. I'm going to talk about that at probably media days next month. 8.5 just feels like that's a 9-3, 10-2 team. I think the quarterback's pretty good. The running back's pretty good. The head coach has coached some defense in his day, but we'll see. That's my look at the Ole Miss Rebels. Tomorrow, I believe, is the Texas A&M Aggies. I think. I can't swear to that. We'll get to it when we get to it. We're going in schedule order chronologically, so we'll see if, in fact, it is Texas A&M tomorrow. But that's a look at the Ole Miss Rebels. Moving along here, our Wednesday edition is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Sharief Ishaq was with the Saints at mandatory minicamp. He was there in Cam Jordan's press conference yesterday. He's chatted with some of the black and gold earlier today. So we'll talk to Sharief from WDSU in New Orleans when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com. SwingEasyGCBR.com is that website. Get on by and see him. I told you this yesterday. It's a bad day. A bad week to get out there and try to play some golf. We're getting 4, 5, 6, 8 inches of rain all over the South Louisiana area, but that doesn't mean you can't go to Swing Easy Golf Club and play some golf. You can work on your game. Awesome spot. You can see the trajectory of your shots, see your ball speed, see your swing speed. You can see your carry distance. You can also see your spin numbers. You can see where your club impacts the ball. All that's super helpful if you're a low handicap player. Maybe you're a beginner. You just want to hit some shots. You can do that at Swing Easy Golf Club in the privacy of a bay. By yourself. Crank some tunes, turn on the U.S. Open, watch some College World Series, World Cup. They can play that for you. It's a great spot. If you want to go hang out this weekend, want to watch the U.S. Open and play Shinnecock on the simulator, you can do that too at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. Become a member. Membership options are available. You can read about those online at SwingEasyGCBR.com. They're on Segan at Perkins, back in that shopping center. Go check them out the end of this week or this weekend. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
North Carolina taking control in Omaha. They lead West Virginia 8-1 now in the fourth inning. Tar Heels really swinging the bats well, and looks like they're going to set their pitching up for the championship series and get a couple of days off here at the end of the week. If they can get that one to the house, I'd imagine they will get that done. 8-1 again, North Carolina leading West Virginia. That would send the Tar Heels to the championship series. Let me remind you about my friends at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. You can go see them. Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Got fantastic deals on some trucks all month long. You can get 0% APR financing if you're looking at a Chevy Silverado. Get on by and see them. Till the end of the month, they've got those fantastic deals. Looking for GMC Sierra, they've got fantastic deals on those as well. 2.9 APR financing for 72 months if you go by the end of the month. So go by and see them. If you're looking for a car around $30,000, they got Chevy Trax. You can check those out as well. They've got new. They've got pre-owned vehicles as well. You can start your shopping online at FabryChevrolet.com. Go see them, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Always a great option. Fabry Chevrolet GMC online at FabryChevrolet.com. Black and Gold, Saints in for the mandatory minicamps this week. Cam Jordan has inked a deal to remain with the Saints for a 16th season. Sharief Ishaq's there covering it all in Metairie for WDSU, and going to have to give us some time on a Wednesday on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Sharief, how are we doing?
Good, man. Sorry I had to throw you a little curveball and go one day late. That press conference with Cam Jordan lasted longer than anyone expected, which is not a shocker.
They let all the kids talk, so, that's the way it goes. Doesn't anybody have any respect for the Hunt Palmer show down there in Metairie?
I think Cam does. He said, Hunt, I know you need Sharief right now, but I need to make fun of Sharief's hairline.
I heard that.
In front of everybody.
I heard that. Describe the vibes around the Cam Jordan storyline and kind of what you think the process was like for him.
I think, what he was, making it clear that he did have other offers, but he wanted to make sure that it was cool with his family that he came back to the Saints. So he was at the Uruguay and I think Saudi Arabia game in Miami for the World Cup, and he said, I call him Mickey, and I just want to get this done. He's like, I just want to get this out of the way. I want to come back and play, make it my final season. He never really definitively said it was his final season, even though he put out a post or a video that pretty much said it was, but he was in person was like flip-flopping on it, but I think it's his last year. But him saying that he wanted to be back here, his family, pushed for it and made sure that, his kids were good with it and they're all happy to be back. And he felt like it was the right choice. He wants to be back and he wants to push this franchise forward. He feels like the defense is, in a good spot. That was a big reason why he wanted to come back. I mean, wasn't money. The money is going to be kind of a base salary and incentives, kind of like last year, a lot of incentives. But I think he had a lot of incentives to come back. I mean, he knows that his father played with the Minnesota Vikings his entire career, and he wanted to play with the New Orleans Saints for his entire career. So that was one big reason, coming back, that legacy. And you're going to see it. You're going to see it for one more season, and we'll see how many sacks he piles up. And he has a new look. He has that short hair fade look, something he hasn't had since his rookie year. And he's just bringing it back to his rookie year for his final year.
The Saints have Carl Granderson. They got Chase Young. They go add Tyree Wilson. They add Anthony Jennings, and now Cam Jordan's in the fold. What's his role on this team?
He played 54% of his snaps last year. I think it'd be around that 50% of the snaps. That doesn't hurt to have a guy who's entering his 16th season to help some of the other guys learn and become pros and become better defensive ends. And I think with Cam Jordan on the field, it certainly helps Chase Young a little bit more. And Chase Young helped Cam Jordan, as you saw both of their sack numbers pile up last season. So I think that is going to translate really well in year two in Brandon Staley's defense. And you can't ask for anything more than that. And a guy who's, put up numbers, 7 double-digit sack seasons for the Black and Gold. So you throw in Carl, and you're hoping Carl has a much bigger season, a better season, and I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see Chase Young put up another career season because of Cam Jordan coming back. I think that helps him out more than anyone on this team.
All right, let's talk about what you saw on the field, mandatory minicamp this week. Just a short stint here to get everybody together and get some work done. Sounds like on the offensive side of things, a good day for Oscar Delp today. What can you tell us about the rookie tight end from Georgia?
Yeah, I remember when he went down a couple weeks ago at the end of that practice, I told you, man, he looked like he tweaked a hamstring. He did tweak a hamstring, but he was back for the 2 practices this week actually participating. And, yeah, man, he looks good, man. I like the way – I know it's no pads and kind of just flying off the line and going against defenders, but still, man, the way he runs his routes and his ability to cut, he's quick, man. He's got quick hips, quick feet, and good hands. I can't wait to see what it looks like whenever he goes against, guys in pads and stuff, but I still think that potential is there. I keep telling you, he's probably the hidden gem of this draft class, and I think that Georgia didn't use his full potential at Georgia. I think you're going to see Kellen Moore unlock that in this offense, and you saw small glimpses of it, man, but I just think he runs great routes and has great hands for a tight end. He's going to be a good tweener, man. He's just good tweener, man. I just like how he can play the slot. He can line up on the line. He can line up almost anywhere on that offense and make it productive. And I think that's, Kellen Moore is a big tight end guy, especially the big versatile tight end guys. And that's what you get the Oscar down.
How'd Tyler Shuck look?
I'd say, he was okay. I mean, he's some ups and downs. I mean, it's the typical type of stuff you'd see from a quarterback. There's some throws that were just completely missed, and there's some throws that he made and that weren't caught. But there are also some excellent throws. I mean, that's what you get in this mini camp. He's still trying to build that chemistry. Remember, there's a lot of new players, new faces that he's working with that he still is trying to get used to. I mean, you got Jalen Polk and the three guys you drafted in the draft. Jordan Tyson still has not practiced, which is another story to see that, they ramp him up even more for training camp. But he's still got to build that chemistry down and get it going with those guys that they just brought in.
Anything else that stood out to you? I'm kind of leave it open-ended because I'm reading Twitter, but anything that stood out from minicamp today?
It's good to see that Chris Olave is doing individual drills. I know that the blood clot situation ended his season. He didn't get a chance to play in that final 17th game. I know he desperately wanted to play in it, but it's good to see him out here, even though it's just doing the individual work. But, man, I just think there's a lot of speed on this defense. That's one thing I've noticed, speed on the entire team. And you know that the NFL, today's game, it's all about how fast you are and how quick you go sideline to sideline. And I'm seeing a lot of that from everyone. I'm seeing a lot of people that are in really good shape from the defensive line, offensive line, and on back. I mean, you're getting guys who are quick, who are, going to make plays down the field. And I think that's something that they desperately needed to address, is getting speed on both sides of the ball. And it's there. It really is there, Hunt. I mean, just watching the speed is impressive.
Tell me about the running back rotation. Is it just a lot of HN, or they're rotating a lot of guys through?
It's a lot of HN. I mean, Alvin really didn't do much in these two minicamp practices. Did some individual drills, and then it was all pretty much HN and Estime. And Devin Neal's still not back. But You saw some of the other running backs. Ty Chandler take some snaps while, the other guys were off the field. But it's mainly HN, Estime, and then Ty Chandler is getting a good bulk of those reps because Alvin and the rest of the guys aren't really doing team drills.
And you're not getting anything from Jordan Tyson at this point?
No, I mean, he was on the field, not doing individual stuff, just running with the team and just he's not like dogging. He's good running. So he's just not doing the individual passing and that's with the receivers coach. So he's kind of simple, but he was out there at least practicing.
Okay. Anything from press conferences you've gathered to kind of put a bow on this thing?
Well, putting a bow on this off season, they just gotta get on the same page. They've got to make sure that chemistry builds, and they got to make sure everyone is at some point in time this off season and make sure they go into training camp 100%. You don't want to deal with any uncertainty. So for the most part, I like what I saw from OTAs and minicamp. It wasn't anything crazy, but at least you're seeing strides in the right direction.
Kind of feels like, other than potential no Kamara drama, which they're avoiding at this point, that they've kind of put that part to bed, and there will be certainly some things that are shaken up a little bit during training camp as a whole with the roster, but it feels like the bulk of the headlines are in the rear view. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I'm still interested to see how that Kamara thing shakes out once they get into training camp, to see how he is. Because remember, with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, completely different situation, how things really didn't play out well.
Yeah.
He wanted a contract, was kind of not being the leader they wanted him to be, and then boom, they traded him. I don't think Alvin's going to be that way. He has his contract. I don't think they're going to touch the contract. It makes no sense to kick the can down the road, and he just has 1 year left, and you don't have to push him. I just want to see if he's going to be the leader. And it looks like they're good with it right now. We'll see how it pushes on through training camp.
Sounds good. We appreciate it, Sharief. We'll talk next week.
All right, huh? See you next Tuesday.
Sharief Ishaq, WDSU down in New Orleans, talking black and gold, looking for practice reports, practice observations, Cam Jordan thoughts, all there. LouisianaSports.net with our guy Ross Jackson. He's all over it, and you can read it for free there at LouisianaSports.net. My Saints content, Hunt on Saints. You can find that wherever you find your podcast, of course, on YouTube as well. We're uploading those daily, and I appreciate y'all for subscribing and making that happen for us. We got to close things out. Take one more time out. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. That's LifetimeRoofingLA.com. They have core values in customer service, quality, and integrity. And the folks at Lifetime Roofing take pride in setting themselves apart from other companies and being involved in the community. And they do a lot of things in the community. One is roof giveaways. They do one for BCA awareness, one for military every single year. And they understand that oftentimes they are called into duty when there is a significant event in people's lives. You need a new roof. At times, that's a bit of a crisis. Huge weather event, something else. Like, they understand that. And they're here to help. You can trust Lifetime Roofing. It's a Baton Rouge-based company with Louisiana roots. They can help you from the North Shore all the way over to Lake Charles into the Houston area as well. If you're looking for a new roof, they got it. You want to finance that? 0% up to 18 months. And they're thrilled they can offer you a lifetime workmanship warranty. That includes the materials that are backed by CertainTeed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. Lifetime workmanship warranty. That's what you get from the folks at Lifetime Roofing. Check them out online at lifetimeroofingla.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Make it 9 commitments for LSU in the month of June. Tigers added Virginia 4-star edge Chris Whitehead. Rivals ranks Whitehead the number 8 pass rusher in the country, number 53 player overall. I believe 24/7 has Whitehead as a 5-star recruit. This is another edge that LSU has added. There's been a lot of movement there, but the Tigers now have 2 elite edge players in this class. And LSU now ranks 9th in the country on Rivals because of this heater. KJ Green was the other edge rusher LSU's grabbed. Sterling Lucas has done a really, really good job of filling the shoes of Jaden Bryant, who obviously flipped to Miami. But you grab 2 top 10 edge rushers there. That's a pretty special deal. Obviously, Kevin Smith's done a great job grabbing 3 running backs in the last 10 days. Whitehead is getting the measurables on him here on his profile. 6'4", 230 from Chesterfield, Virginia. Had some significant offers from Ohio State, Penn State, South Carolina, Virginia Tech. Obviously, Virginia Tech with James Franklin, who was at Penn State, so that's the connection there. But you're talking about a guy who is the number 1 player in the state of Virginia, according to every single service, is at least a 4-star according to every single service, and is a really high-profile player. So Lane Kiffin continues to do a great job on the high school ranks, bringing players in. Got a class now that's ranked in the top 10, and there was a time there about 15 days ago where you're thinking, this is a really light class. You got 3 guys, and now all of a sudden you look up and LSU into the double digits and has a class in the top 10 with a lot of high-profile players. So great stuff there for LSU. I'm sure Matt will have more on it. We've got a story up at LouisianaSports.net. So that's 2 commitments today. Of course, you had the commitment of the top running back in the state of Louisiana, now a 4-star edge rusher. So big day for the Tigers on the recruiting trail in high school. Before we play some Take It or Leave It, let me remind you about my friends over at First American Bank and Trust. You can find them at FABT.com, FABT.com. Started up in 1910, 116 years later. They've grown to 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. If you're in South Louisiana and you're looking for a bank, looking for a commercial loan, looking for a personal loan, First American Bank and Trust. They can help you. It's a local bank. Their management averages 25 years with the bank. The people that are making decisions on your commercial loan or your personal loan are the people that you see in church on Sunday, or the people you see at the baseball field on Tuesday nights, or the people whose kids are in class with yours, people you see when you're out on the town. It's First American Bank and Trust, local for 116 years. Don't think that means small. They've got the assets that you need for that commercial loan, that personal loan. That's what comes with 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. So if you're looking for a loan, looking for a bank, First American Bank and Trust, online at FABT.com. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, Hunt. So Cape Verde's 40-year-old goalkeeper Vozinha had a performance of a lifetime, putting up a clean sheet versus World Cup favorite Spain, holding them to 0 goals during the game. But after the game, he had 56,000 followers on Instagram. That shot up to 12.4 million in 24 hours because of the performance. So is this the true global stage? Take it or leave it?
Take it. I mean, that's you can
Crazy.
monetize 12 million followers. You can make some cash on that. There's no doubt about it. So good for him. 40 years old.
40.
Get out there. Make sure they don't hit it between the pipes. I'm in for it. Look, I didn't watch any of it. I don't know anything about Cape. I don't even know what continent that's on.
It's like a small country outside of Africa or something like that. It's small, very small.
Everybody's tying over. The Congo just tied somebody that's good. So it just is what
Portugal.
it is. Yeah, Portugal. I know what continent that's on.
Yeah.
Both of them.
So, yeah, man, to go up from 56, I would assume his phone might have been one of the hottest items on the planet, just notifications. Ding, ding, ding.
Got to turn the notifications off at that point. But hey,
Immediately.
get in touch with some sponsors. 56 million, we can make that work.
Oh, yeah. So Texas Tech has taken a lot of criticism for the handling of Brendan Sorsby gambling case and his fight for eligibility. But the quarterback's agent came out today and said some of the heat that's going to Texas Tech needs to go towards Cincinnati, who were alerted of Sorsby gambling prior to the start of the 2025 season. So should Cincinnati be held accountable? Take it or leave it?
Leave it. This sounds like my 4-year-old tattletaling, and he tattletails
He did
a
it
lot.
too?
I got tattled on this morning
Oh,
by my
really?
4-year-old.
To your wife?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So it
come
just
on,
happens all the time.
We're supposed to be a team.
Yeah, Dad wasn't saying prayers on the way to school.
Oh, come
I'm
on.
trying to listen to U.S. Open podcasts. We didn't have time for the prayers on the way to school. It's my bad. But I don't need the 4-year-old tattling on me.
Nah.
And that's what we're getting from the attorney who's tattling on Cincinnati now. No tattling. Just stay in your own lane.
I can't believe that. Come on, man. We're supposed to be a team, man.
Look, we're not. He'll tattle on anybody anytime. Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe. Okay. All right, so you go like this one. The king of fast food has officially been dethroned for the first time in more than a decade. Chick-fil-A is no longer the top-rated quick-service restaurant, according to the American Customer Service Satisfaction Index.
I know where this is going.
After an 11-year run, the results of 16,000 people voted. They knocked Chick-fil-A off, so the top spot goes to now Jersey Mike's.
Really?
For its command in freshness, food variety, and value. So Jersey Mike's over Chick-fil-A. Take it or leave it.
Take it.
I'll take it.
Here's the deal.
Okay, I'm listening.
Cassie's going to freak out. She might quit the show.
Turn around.
Chick-fil-A is fine, okay? The obsession that America has where you have to go through a 61-car line in 14 travel soccer teams to get a chicken sandwich, it's out of control. And I'm going to drive to the beach in 2 weeks, and I guarantee you
they'll be there.
We're going to be on I-10, and my wife will go, we got to go to Chick-fil-A. Why? There's 900 restaurants. Why don't we go to the gas station and get a slice of pizza and get back on the road? I'm trying to get to the beach, not sit behind the travel softball team forever and ever, amen. I know they're efficient. They got the iPads. The girl's really
outside,
nice. She takes the order. Great. There's 100 cars in the drive-through. I don't want to go through there. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't want to go there.
Cassie, feel free.
But Jersey Mike's isn't any better.
Jersey Mike's doesn't have 80 cars in the line. There's not even a line. You walk in there's like 2 people waiting for a sandwich.
You got
do have a lot of options.
curbside, you got pickup.
Just walk in there and get a sandwich.
Just get it. Go walk in. All right, so tell me this. Can we believe that Jersey Mike's is the one that knocked Chick-fil-A off, though?
I thought you were going to tell me Chipotle. Everybody's obsessed with Chipotle, too.
Okay, but now that it's number 1, it's probably going to start having 100 cars.
It could. And I haven't been to Jersey Mike's in a long time. But I think they have a great sandwich.
So that's it, man. 11 years of Chick-fil-A off the throne. Jersey Mike's the number 1 spot. So that's it for Take It or Leave It.
I do like, oh, no, we're coming home on Saturday. That means we're going to have to do it again. At least when we come home on Sunday, I'm spared the misery. I'm not built for it because now with the 1-year-old we have to get out of the car. You can't do the drive-through. You got to go change him. He can't eat in a car seat.
Legs.
So you got to go sit in there. There's a million people. I just don't want to deal with that. I'm for efficiency on the road. You pick something up, you go.
100%.
If it was up to me, we wouldn't even stop.
We wouldn't stop just to get gas.
But we got kids,
and
so we
got
to stop. It is what it is. My stop on the way to Shreveport Memorial Day weekend, where I did not have my wife and it was just me, and Keller had a blowout in the Arby's, and I had it on my hands, and Myers was walking around the parking lot with headphones on. It was chaos. That's the life we live.
That's the life.
And Chick-fil-A does not provide any sort of ability to avoid the disasters. So I'm already dreading that part of the beach trip because I know we're going on the way in, on the way back. I would even rather go to Buc-ee's, which is chaos in its own.
Buc-ee's is overstimulating.
It is. It's a lot. But we'll see. That's it for us here on this Wednesday, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. They're online at builtbyrenaissance.com, builtbyrenaissance.com. Couple of LSU recruiting stories. LSU baseball added a relief pitcher as well. We talked 2 Saints segments, Cam Jordan and OTAs. You can catch all that on demand wherever you find your sound. Search Hunt Palmer Show, Hunt on LSU, and Hunt on Saints. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further View. We're back tomorrow. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. It is storm season. We're about to get the effects of this tropical system over the course of the next couple of days. That's just a warning of what is to potentially come. Make sure you are set up for storm season in terms of your commercial insurance program. If you're a business owner, if you are a CFO, if you're in charge of the insurance and you just know what you pay, but you're not certain what that policy says, you don't have to read it. Contact Jonathan Carbo and his team at the Highland Insurance Group. They'll read it. They've got experts over there that can make sure that there's not some stipulation in your policy. There's not an exclusion in there. There's not some sort of safeguard in there. There's not some sort of language that may compromise your coverage. Because the last thing you want to do is pay for insurance up front, have a storm blow through, and you don't have the proper business interruption limit. Your building is improperly evaluated. You're dealing with co-insurance penalties. Make sure that's not the case. The Highland Insurance Group will help you with that. Find them online at HighlandIG.com. It's the Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com.